I thought, like, where do you want to start? Where do you want to start with the establishment meltdown? Do you want to start with dishonest attacks? Do you want to start with the ludicrous attacks? Do you want to start with just people, becoming more and more unstable? I'm going to start with an old friend of mine, Chris Matthews. Let's take a look at what Chris Matthews thinks about the Bernie Sanders surge in Iowa, New Hampshire, and elsewhere.
You know Pennsylvania, you know that Youngstown, Ohio voter, you know that Scranton, Pennsylvania voter. Does Bernie relate to those voters in a way that, say, other Democrats in the field may not?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I mean, I think people are who are desperate to get rid of Trump will reach for any life raft thrown at them. I don't know. I'll just say I don't know about that one. I think they'd respond to Biden with a good running mate. I think they might go for some of the other candidates. My latest question is this one. It's sort of like the question pollsters ask. Who cares about people like you? And my question is a little more direct than that. Suppose you're lying on a road hurt. Maybe you've had something happen to you. You fainted, whatever happened. Which of the candidates would stop their car and get out and help you? Which of them? Ask yourself that question, and you got your candidate, I think. Because I'm not sure about all of them. I've been polling this sort of, I think Biden wins that one pretty easily. I think Elizabeth maybe. I don't think Bernie wins it. Do you? Honestly? Think Bernie would stop and help you? I'm not sure.
Well,
I know these are tough questions. They cut to the gut, but they are the question you got to ask about. Will this person help me when I need them? Because the rest is BS. It's all speech writing.
Okay, so I'll say, yeah, I think Bernie would help me.
You're covering yourself. Joe, you're covering yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But I do understand, though, that...
So we've now entered the part of the program where Chris Matthews, who makes, I'm not positive, I think $6 million a year, yet he's in touch with Scranton, Pennsylvania, makes $6 million a year. He's in touch with, the guys and gals who wear the hard hats in Scranton. They're going to, the case against Bernie now on MSNBC is I don't think he would stop if my car broke down. Who's going to stop for me if my car breaks down? Joe Biden. Mayor Pete. They're going to stop for me. Bernie, I don't know. Is he going to stop for me? He's only, stopped on the side of the road for the Nissan workers, the Disney workers, the Amazon workers, the Walmart workers, to name a few. But I don't know. I don't know if he's going to connect in Scranton. I just don't know if he's going to stop on the side of the road for me. What's amazing, and Jen and I were texting about this earlier, it's a weird thing because in most professions, not all, you actually have to, you don't fail up, right? You don't, get rewarded for being an idiot. You don't get rewarded for not having any knowledge in your area. You don't get rewarded for stupidity, ineffectiveness. But in this particular industry, the corporate media, which, as I told you yesterday, corporate media is really just a super PAC for the oligarchy. That's what it is. In corporate media, when you make comments like that, you fail up. He's going to get probably more money next year from MSNBC. So, of course, that is fact-free. And I tweeted about it earlier, but it's amazing to me because there's two types of deception, okay? There's the deception that's intentional. There's the deception that's intentional from these corporate media people. And what that means is they know exactly what the polls say. They know exactly what Bernie Sanders' strengths and weaknesses are, but they don't accurately depict it. So that's the deception. The other kind is just really what permeates the media, and I think Jen has seen this on the road too. The other kind is just the complete stupidity of these people that get paid so much money. So let me break it down for Chris Matthews. Just the data, okay? Bernie Sanders in 2016 lost Iowa, by less than a point, 1/10 of a point. Iowa's a pretty red state. Okay. Bernie Sanders won Indiana. Pretty red state. Okay. Bernie Sanders won Oklahoma. Pretty red state. Bernie Sanders won Montana. He won North Dakota. He won Idaho. Okay. Bernie Sanders almost won Kentucky, lost by a point. Missouri, lost by a point. And he did win Kansas. So when all of these people, oh, by the way, he won Michigan and Wisconsin, which right now are red states. So when all of these people say Bernie Sanders can't connect with moderates, conservatives, or centrist voters, they're either knowingly lying, because all you have to do is Google it, like I did today, and see how many moderate to red states he actually won. I actually think he won the Iowa caucus, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. Can he connect in Scranton? Yeah, he's connecting in all these other places. Bernie Sanders is attractive to independents. That's why he outperformed Hillary Clinton in 2016 in open primaries. So either they're lying to their audience and they know all this, but they say otherwise, or even worse, they get paid millions of dollars to know politics backwards and forwards, and they don't know this information. Both are terrible. You're either deceptively, intentionally lying, or you're a f***ing idiot. But, and I'm going to do a story on this, I don't know when, because we're so busy, on just Bernie Sanders, the actual track record. In Vermont, time and time again, when he's won re-election, he has won moderate rural areas. In New York, he won every single county in New York State other than New York City. He won upstate New York, which is more red and rural. He tends to do very well in rural areas. So MSNBC doesn't know what they're talking about. As another explanation, here's Chuck Todd, another multimillionaire who either is intentionally lying or just doesn't know anything.
But the track record, the half century of the modern Democratic Party presidential nominating process, the candidate who goes 2-0, winning Iowa, winning New Hampshire, it's happened 4 times, and they're 4 for 4 at then winning the nomination. So take that for what it's worth, too.
Steve, one thing about New Hampshire, it's an open primary. Those independent voters, if there is a Stop Bernie effort, it may begin with those New Hampshire independent voters. Anyway, it's going to be a wild February, I have a feeling.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, my God, I just can't. I can't. I haven't drank any alcohol today, but I feel drunk. I can bet. On this stupidity. So Chuck Todd, the moderator of Meet the Press. Bernie Sanders won New Hampshire by 22 points in 2016. The Stop Bernie movement is going to succeed in New Hampshire because of independent voters? He won New Hampshire by 22 points. This is what I'm talking about. Do these people, are they just sociopaths who knowingly lie for millions of dollars a year? Or do they just not know anything? Some of them I know it's the former. They're just lying. Some of them I'm not sure. What are you talking about? That, independence, so, it might not be good for him. He won open primary states. This is, I don't know. This is Fox News level at this point. Sure, it's not as racist, but it's as propagandish. It's straight up lies. It just defies, it really, really defies logic. One of my favorites, and this is what I mean, like literally, it's not even every hour I have to check for new stories. It's every 10 minutes. This was one of my favorites today. Nick Confessori, a totally elitist, out-of-touch reporter for the New York Times, he says there is no such thing as a Democratic establishment. As evidence, I present to you Sam Stein and some other people, their story from the Daily Beast. And he puts a link into a story about how the Democratic establishment basically doesn't know what to do to stop Bernie Sanders. The establishment here is an unknown number of semi-disorganized donors and operatives who think Sanders would be a bad nominee and are probably having a lot of worried phone calls, but can't think of anything to do. And also know that anything they try wouldn't work. Yes, that is really, really strong mental, deductive reasoning. There is no such thing as the Democratic Party establishment because the Wall Street financiers, the fossil big pharma, Silicon Valley, big real estate, and all of them, they just haven't figured out a way to stop this out of control Jewish socialist. That means there's no establishment. It's truly unbelievable. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.